So you're on the market for a new car. You don't want an SUV, you don't want a hatchback, but you're looking for something that will still give you the same practicality that those two things offer. What do you go for? You go for this, a saloon that offers those things. So comfortability, practicality, and just a nice, gentle ride, just a quiet ride. So that's exactly what the e-C4X offers. Let's talk about it. So starting with the design, let's talk about this sculptured bonnet. It looks really nice. I love how this is kind of like just dented in and sculptured on the bonnet there. We've got the bold Citroen logo on the front. We've got a nice LED light, which is also your daylight running light there as well. It just looks really nice. And you got that hint of electrification all around the car. So in terms of this like blue tint, this accent all around the car. Moving on to the side of the car, we have more electrification hints all around it. So we have that E that's in blue. We've got the little cladding area there with a blue hint on it as well. That's actually a protective cladding, which gives it that SUV kind of rugged look at the same time. And you got that fastback, the sweeping line on the back as well. Here are 18-inch alloy, which comes as standard. There are 3 different trim levels. So you have the Sense, the Shine, and the Shine Plus. The one that we've got here for this review is the Shine Plus edition, which gives you all the bells and whistles. So like the 10-inch screen, you got the Alcantara seats inside. I love the way it kind of just slopes towards the back here, giving it that sporty look. And then the tail lights here are nice and bold as well. We've seen this design before. Looks really nice and wrapped around. By the way, this is actually longer than the C4 and shorter than the C5. So if you want to kind of imagine how long this car is. Continuing on to the back of the car, we have the Citroen logo, nicely laid out there, nice design again. It's not something that's memorable, if that's my conclusion on the looks of the car. And then we open up the boot. This is where the practicality comes into play. We have just over 500 litres of boot space in here, which is really big. This is practical, you can fit a lot in here. The part that isn't practical though is the size of this opening, because this is a saloon, so we'll lose that sort of big opening to get into the boot. So if you have big items, you might struggle to get that in the boot. But if you can get it in, that is a big boot space. And then you can fold the rear seats as well in a 60-40 split. We have our charging port here, and this supports a 100 kilowatts DC fast charge. So you'll be able to charge this up very quickly, which is not bad considering we get a 50 kilowatt hour battery. Okay, one more thing. Does it have a frunk? Let's find out. No frunk, but we do have a big boot space though, so we'll let them off. So here we are in the back seat. Let's talk about the knee room available here and just the comfortability, which is what this car is all about. So if you're going to be carrying passengers or your family and stuff like that, well, on a long journey, if you're 5'11" and above like me, then you might struggle with knee room because there's not a lot going on here. Although there's plenty of space to put your feet and tuck it away nicely there. That's comfortable, that's fine. I'm not mad at that at all. And then headroom, there's not a lot going on as well here. I mean, it could do with a bit more. But what's changed though is we have thicker seats. So these are very comfortable. You can sit on this for longer periods of time with no issues at all. And with the Shine Plus edition, you get Alcantara leather and sort of finishing all around it, which is really nice and soft. I think I could lay my face on it and sleep on this and be comfortable. You do get a armrest in the middle here, and it's got a gap for your cup holder. There's a little gap here as well, which you might be able to place maybe your phone. And when you open this bit up as well, you can open it up and you still get space to get in the boot in case you forgot something. Although the funny thing about this is if you put the headrest down on the back, it stops you from getting in to this bit. It blocks it, which is probably a design flaw, or is that okay? Let us know in the comments below. We'll put that back there. Otherwise, middle passenger, they can sit here, but unfortunately, even though this is an electric car, we have a transmission tunnel thing going on here, so it's not fully flat in the middle, so they might have to raise their knees quite high up, which is not the most comfortable position if you're going to be driving for a long period of time. And down here we have 2 USB ports, one USB-C, one USB Type A, but the problem with that is you'd have to fight over if you're both carrying the same charging ports. We've got pocket here to store things, so you can store your documents and stuff like that. I think otherwise, it's okay. It's not the best, it's not the most comfortable thing to sit in for tall people, but I think it's okay. It looks very plush. Up front for the driver and the passenger, there's a lot of plasticky areas here. So like all this material here, they're all like very, plasticky, doesn't feel very premium. We get here, we got this big glossy plasticky area, which will attract a lot of fingerprints. So you have to keep wiping it if that's something you don't really like. It's very tight up here as well. It's very cozy, if I may say so. And also, as it's an electric car, we're losing plenty of space here. We don't really need this because there's no transmission tunnel, but it's there because this is actually it's meant to be another car in different regions. So combustion engine car in different regions and stuff like that. Maybe that's why that's there, but we'll leave that for a different conversation. But that side, we get a full USB port here, USB-A, and we've got one USB Type-C port here. We also get a wireless charging mat, which is pretty neat for charging your phone wirelessly. There's another space here which you can lift up, and there's something, it's like a little hidden area underneath that, which is cool. You got your 12 volts socket. Then we've got our gear shifter here, which is nicely tucked away, nice and discreet. You can go from B mode to reverse, park, etc. Then you got another drive mode shifter here, which you can shift from different mode like eco and sports mode. We've got our handbrake, electronic handbrake. We've got two cup holders here, which you can fit, you know, cans of water and stuff. If there's nothing in there, like so, we can just close that up and hide it away in case you want to put something there that you don't want to be showing to the public when you parked up. You can do that. And then we have this armrest, which moves backwards and forwards, so you can nicely rest your elbow. And then underneath that is another cubby hole there, which you can store things away, which is really good. So we've got little gaps everywhere that you can store things, including the one on the door pockets as well. One thing that's really cool here though is this. So over here we can, if you have an iPad, you can push this out and you can rest your iPad on here. I don't understand how that fully works, but that's meant to be for your iPad. So the passenger, for example, can have that and watch a TV show whilst you're driving maybe. No. There's another tray here which you can store something away. If you can fit an iPad there, perhaps you can store it away when you parked up. Or maybe a small laptop, maybe a 13-inch laptop can perhaps fit in there, who knows? And then you've also got your glove box still there. So plenty of compartments in that area there to store different things and use it in terms of practicality. As standard in here, we get a 10-inch infotainment system. We've got a mixture of buttons and stuff all around here. So we've got your media control button here for audio and stuff, home button, car settings and stuff, and then your dual climate control stuff situated there. Nice and easily within reach. So when you're driving, if you need to quickly switch things off, thank God for that. I love buttons. I hate touch things in cars, which is really nice. And all your functional things are buttons, which is really good. And then we have a head-up display. We talked about different trim levels that you get. So if you go for the Shine, you get your head-up display and the 10-inch infotainment system as standard. You go for the Shine Plus, that's where you get this nice Alcantara leather and stuff like that, which is nice and comfortable actually. It holds you in really nicely. Like I said, it feels very cozy in here. And I think the next thing is, let's talk about this infotainment and see what you can actually do with it. So this screen is very responsive. So as you swipe across, you can see things move really nicely. There's no issues there at all. It's got a nice little animation to it. That's your sat nav there that you can't really move around on it. You kind of have to use the buttons on the side and stuff like that to control that. What I really like though is either sides of the screen, they've used that for your climate control. So if you press that, that will activate your climate control so you can start to change your temperature and stuff like that. I'll turn that off for now. Press that to go back home and we have our media player and stuff like that. And this little arrow, this little 3-line will give you your settings and player options and all that stuff. So in here, we can control your sound settings. So you can adjust things like your treble, your mid, your bass, or even the focus of the sound in the car. Moving on, we'll swipe across again and we'll see some of the quick options available like Hello Citroen. You can use that for voice control, climate control, mirror screen. This supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And you can do your application drawer, which kind of gives you a bit more options there. So you can see all your ADAS systems, so all your safety stuff, you know, safety system, you got lane keep assist over there. We can look at more functions. So you got close obstacle detection, lane keep assist, you got automatic braking system, traction control, road sign, speed limit recognition, blind spot alerts, and driver attention alerts as well. So plenty of safety options there for you to keep you nice and safe on the road. We go into energy settings, energy menu. You can see your energy flow when you're driving, or you can go to stats and see how you're doing it since you last charged and all that kind of stuff. So that can help you manage your energy consumption better, perhaps. We go back out, we can see our climate control there. Go into application drawer, like I said already, we've got more options on there, things like your media settings, mirror screening, so you can mirror your phone. We can go into settings and then we can change more stuff as well. So for example, we can customize our display. So this display that we have here, we can customize it. But what's really cool is the instrument cluster can be customized as well. So you can add more pages, you can add widgets if there's space available, or just add more pages, add more widgets on there. And that's very responsive because it changes on that side as you're doing so. If you press this button here quickly, you can go into your ADAS system, so you can change things very quickly, so you don't have to dig into the menu system to get into that. So just press on that, will take you to that system, and you can toggle on different settings on there. What's cool about this is the fact that it's very easy to get on with, it's very easy to use, it's not overwhelming, so there's not much settings you can actually do to it. There's not a lot going on, so you don't have to keep digging to find things, which is really good. And it's very, very responsive as well. Looking at the steering, looks quite similar to that of Peugeot. At the end of the day, they're part of the same group, but you got that slightly flat bottom area, and the top is slightly flat as well. Nice and compact steering. And you got buttons on there for your media controls and phone calls and stuff, and obviously your cruise control and speed limiter and all that stuff, and also to control some of the settings and menu that appears on there. This is not electronically controlled, so we have to manually use a toggle at the bottom there to move the steering up and down, or even pull it towards us and away from us. So that's a shame. I love a nice electronic system there. But looking on that monitor there, you can see all your user information, nice and bright as well. There's no issues there at all. But as I was saying earlier, you can go into settings and change what you see on there, and it's quite responsive as well. So if we go into the main infotainment, I go into settings, so you will see the changes happen on there. So if we customize that, you can see straight away. I can change that view there, so you got information that you see on there. We can go into pages, so we can add a new page. Then we can start populating that with different widgets like power, ADAS system, navigation, etc. So for now, I'm just going to stick navigation on there. So now you can see we have a navigation option available on there, and then I can come out of that and save. Next is that head-up display. So we have our head-up display here. It's this little glass that pops up here to use for projection. But what's cool about this though is instead of having to go into your infotainment system to change settings for this, there's a little settings area here which allows you to move things quickly up and down, which I really like. Is quick access to what it is. So again, you can change brightness on there if it's too dull. If you want it brighter, you can do that. You can move it up and down. One thing we get as well in terms of buttons, we get a button to control the head-up display, but as well as that, we do get a button for heated steering and heated seats as well on there, because the Shine Plus edition gives us that opportunity to have our steering heated and our seats in the front for the passenger as well heated, so we can stay nice and toasty when you're driving. So that's about it for the instrument cluster and the infotainment display for the driver and the passenger. I think it's about time we take it for a drive. So here we are on the road in the e-C4X. And to begin with, let's talk about some of the stats, which is very important, I'm assuming, if you're watching this video. This will do 0 to 62 in 9.5 seconds. You're looking at a 260 Newton meters of torque and a top speed of around 93 miles per hour, which is more than enough for the UK roads. You don't want to be doing anything above 70 miles per hour anyway. And I think it's just nice and modest. This is built for comfortability. It's got those hydraulic system in there as well that allows for decompression and compression as well. So when you go over speed bumps, for example, or you're driving on UK roads, which aren't always smooth, you can have a nice, comfortable ride when you're on the road. At the minute, we're just doing, slow speeds, fast speed around country lane right now. And when it comes to the handling, it's pretty decent. You go around the bends, nice and comfortable. You got different drive modes as well. You got sports, you got eco mode, and then you got your normal mode, which most of the time I drive in normal mode, because when you drive electric, you worry about the range. You have to consider the energy consumption. Obviously in eco mode, that's where you get your best range. And Citroen quoted around just above 220 miles on the WLTP. I think it's actually 223 to 22. But I think in the real world, you might not get that sort of level of range. You might be getting around 180, 190 miles on the WLTP, but you did get that 100 kilowatt fast charge, DC rapid charge. So you can charge this up very quickly if you find a charger that supports that. In terms of the experience here, though, you have head-up display, which is nice and bright, so you can see where you can see some of the information that you need, things like your speed, traffic signs and stuff like that. You can see those information on the head-up display, which you can also change the brightness level and stuff like we spoke about. Comfortability, this feels nice and comfortable as well. The seats feels great, like I talked about, and also everything's within reach. So if you want to change volume, you want to control things, media controls are here, and you can adjust your steering column as well. So if you want to adjust it to your taste, you can do that. There isn't a lot that I hate about this car. Actually, I hate nothing about it, besides the fact that we could do with more space in here. We get all that space embedded in the boot with that 510 litres of boot space, but the driver area, this is very cozy. We've got this pillar that's always hitting your knees, and it just feels very tight inside of the car. It would be nice if you had more space, considering this is an electric car with, loads of space to play with. But that's what we get in the e-C4X. But as far as the car go, I think they've hit the nail on the head. They've achieved their goal, which is to get something that looks stylish and also practical and gives you that element of SUV if you want that with the cladding on the side, and you also get a nice coupe look out of it. You get practicality with that boot space is very big, but you lose some of the headroom, knee room, and all that jazz. But I think that's about it for this car. Handling is good, I can't complain at all. It handles the road very nicely. You can just point it and it goes there, handles the corner very well. There's not much body roll going on, but then again, that would change, you know, depending on the speed that you're going at. But if you're following the speed limit on the road and, you know, sticking to like the 30s and stuff like that, there's not much body roll going. And if you're carrying passengers, I think they'll be nice and comfortable in the car. They'll be happy that they're in the car and they've got space to store, to mount things like their iPad, to watch a movie at the same time, lots of charging ports to charge your devices on the go. And this is a great example actually in terms of how comfortable the shock absorption is. This road is very rough here. They've actually closed some of it off to resurface the road. So here, yes, you get loads of road noise, but it feels nice and comfortable. So road noise could be a qualms for me because it's an electric car. It's meant to be nice and quiet and, you know, just peaceful in the car. But that takes it away with the road noise on that 18-inch wheels that we've got here. But other than that, I think it's a great car. This will set you back around £36,000, just under, for the Shine Plus edition, which gives you the full whack of what you get in terms of package, like your infotainment system, your ADAS system, etc., etc., and this Alcantara styling inside of the car. So do bear that in mind in terms of what you can get for this. There are other alternatives like your Volkswagen ID4, ID3s and stuff like that, but they might offer less space, so do consider that. But this is great. They've achieved that in terms of styling and practicality. But over to you though. Let me know what you think in the comments below, the good old comments below section. Drop a comment there if you have any questions, drop them there as well. I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. But in the meantime, if this is your first time around here, let's go over this first. Subscribe, smash the bell notification so you get notified every time there's a video up on the channel like this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.